Hey y'all, Achieved here. This is my achievement guide for Shardbearer Mohg in Elden Ring. Let's get it. From the inner consecrated snowfield side of Grace, you're going to head all the way to the west to find a wayport that is next to a log. Take that wayport and it's going to take you to the Mohgwyn Palace area. From the Palace Approach Ledge Road side of Grace, in double time, we're going to head into the swamp below. All you're going to do when you head into the swamp is you're going to hug the right wall, passing through the swamp. The water here is not actually rot like I thought it was going to be, but it is a little more difficult to get there on your feet. If you go towards the center of the lake, at some point you will be invaded by a red phantom, so take note of that. Keep following the edge and you will come to this cathedral, where you can find your first set of grace up on this area here. And as you make your way through, make sure you look out for these guys that will charge you and be like all blown up. They can cause bleed and they can do significant damage to you if you get in their way. That's about it for this area. You're going to come to this giant red blob. You need to jump around the gravestones around it to get around it instead of having to fight it because it has a lot of health. And in this building, we're going to take the time to put on a lantern and run through here. Once you make it through the first area, you're going to actually spawn an enemy right about here. That is going to be a hassle if you don't take care of it or just ignore it. But you can climb the stairs, look for the lilies, rose, whatever it is. Make your way through, and at this point the enemy is actually followed behind me and is shooting at me. There's one more side of grace before you get onto the lift that is going to take you to the boss's arena where you fight the true form of Mohg the Omen. Mohg, the Lord of Blood, is the true form of Mohg the Omen. He is now considered a Shardbearer, so deal with that how you will. He has a lot more health than normal. His Phase 1 is pretty similar to Phase 1 for Mohg the Omen, except at certain points, at certain health points, he's going to cast a ring around the player. He will cast 3 rings, and when he gets on the 3rd ring at 50% health, he's going to damage the player for a very significant amount of damage. And he just did one right there. He's doing another one right here. And at 50% health, he'll do the last one. And at that point, he's going to, like I said, deal that damage. And it's very hard to get healing off between those. So the best time to do the healing, I'll do it between the first two rings. But from what I've been reading, the best time to do it is from the 2nd and 3rd ring. So get that healing in right before that phase starts so that you don't die. And then I'll meet you back in phase 2. Going into Phase 2, Mohg completes his transformation into this beast. He also gains 25% of his health back, but if you've got your summons working for you, then you won't really gain that health back. Instead, he'll be focused on them, and won't really have any advantage to this round. He does sprout wings, as you can see, which he makes pretty heavy use of, and his trident is now imbued with that blood effect, so that every attack that he uses sends blood out in the direction that he attacks, which the blood lingers for a little bit, so make sure you're extra careful of where you're going, and make sure you look out for the blood pools, because they can be very dangerous. It's important to stay at high health if you can, because of that bleed effect that can happen very quickly. Other than that, this phase isn't really that difficult, especially if you have your summon keeping its attention, just like most other bosses in Elden Ring. But that'll be it for Mohg Lord of Blood, so I'll catch you guys next time. Adios.